This video is about Boy Scout Merit Badge wood carving, the tools. We'll go over sharpening later, but here are some of the things that you might use in sharpening: a rough and smooth whetstone, the diamond plate sharpening, you have a ceramic type of sharpener, you have a polish, and you can use a strop or a piece of leather. You have an actual metal polish. Mother's is a pretty good one that works. And then here's a angle sharpener. On here you can see you can dial this to the actual angle that your knife was cut at. Other tools, knives, all kinds of knives you can cut with. I prefer locking back knives. The ones that have the pointed tips like this are pretty good to get in. I usually carve with knives like this. I tend to avoid the pocket knife type of knives. The tip of the knife is a little bit too rounded, too wide. Small pen knives are nice to get into small details. A just utility knife is fantastic. Make sure you change your blade when it gets dull. Big handle, very short blade, and sometimes that's easier for smaller hands to work with a bigger handle. I carve with this knife a lot. Notice it has a nice sharp tip and wide blade. It's nice because I can take smaller chunks out, and it just allows a little bit more space in carving. Okay, so we have other knives here. This is a different locking mechanism on the knife right here. You push this forward, and that locks it. And then your standard buck knife. That is a little bit big. Unless you're carving a big stick, a walking stick, you probably don't need a knife that big. The smaller is the better. Other tools you might use: a chisel. We actually have wood carving knives. There it is. Wood carving knives. Notice how shiny the blades are on these. Okay, here's a carving knives with a handle. You insert these into the handle. These are your gouges, your V-tools. Okay, and you have a straight blade. Or actually, this is a very slight gouge. It's not a straight one. Craft tools. Not necessarily recommended unless you're doing some fine or finishing details. The blades are pretty thin. Other things you might use, standard woodworking tools like a drill, hand drill. I would not use an electric drill. A coping saw, crosscut saw or back saw, depending upon the type of wood you're getting. Also some files to get into some finishing detail, and then also sandpaper. Those are all the tools that you might use when you're wood carving. Your main tool, though, will be your pocket knife.